Well, I was at a film festival with Julian in Spain and San Sebastian, and Dennis showed up, and he said, "Hey, Herbie, got any pot?" And I go, "Of course I got pot." He goes, "I'll be right over." And so he blasted over to the house and rolled a joint, stuck it in his mouth, and he's cleaning up his mess, and he's got a little film can right there. And this is a surfing magazine. The story is At the End of the Road. And I was just going through my bag. I grabbed the camera and I just went poof, and it was over. And he looked up and he goes, "Wow." And it was a digital shot, so I showed it to him and he goes, "Wow, that's the best photo I've ever had of myself." So I put up "Buy Herb." Is he too high on me? I got another chair I can get that sits higher or lower. I'd get two unified, because I don't know, it's sort of weird, isn't it? You don't think so? I'd like to get another chair. I've seen it happen, where one's higher than the other.
You didn't like your other chair, huh?
No.
Neither do I. Let's get this started. So did painting on your boards all the time growing up help you transition into becoming an artist?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We'd make the surfboards, we'd glass them, and then we'd just go to the hardware store and buy spray paint and paint them up really colorful. Then we'd cut out stencils to use, but there weren't a whole lot of guys doing that. I'd walk down the beach and they'd say, "Oh, here comes Herbie with the ugliest board on the earth." It was just colorful and beautiful and warm and sunshine, and you know, it was hot. Hawaii.
So what's so special about the rectangles?
I own the house at Pipeline with Jerry Lopez, and every swell, there'd be broken boards everywhere, but my house was right there, so everybody'd leave their boards in my house for me to clean up, right? And so I'm looking out of the balcony from the third story, which my room was, and there's all these boards just laid out all crazy like, stacked on top of each other, and that's how I got the idea of the rectangle, because they were all wrecked and tangled together. So I just started putting them together. I thought they were a beautiful object, and I'd seen different art with airplane parts, and
so you turned those into pieces.
Yes.
How did you come up with the Bloodwater series that we have behind us?
The Bloodwater series came from Waimea, and Waimea means red water, and I'd paddle up the Waimea River to a mud bar, because we used to take mud baths up there in the 60s. Nobody knows this, so I go, wow, that would be interesting. Putting the mud on the canvas and then paddling it back to the sand coral beaches and laying it out, letting it dry, because it's all saturated in there, and then taking them home and washing them out, and it leaves a stain of the iron oxide that comes out of the river, and so I just thought it was blood water.
I got a little bit of muscle left over. I was helping my dad yesterday with all this shit.
Fuck, how's he doing? Go ahead, go on.
I know.
You know?
I just didn't know who's going out first. I'm gonna go sell a bunch of surfboards at his warehouse today.
You can walk faster than that, can't you?
Yep. Just don't want to knock nothing over. My dad's having a Christian Fletcher extravaganza blowout sale.
This is a wave in Indonesia called No Kandui. It's Kandui Island, but the boat drivers always said no Kandui because they didn't want the surfers to go out there because it's so shallow. But you can see how the bubbles come out, and they're gnarly, you know, they're tough, and they got texture. And then I left some of the fiberglasses hang off. I thought that was pretty cool, as you could see the different textures, and it's a different style. But you can see how the texture of the bubbles of the fiberglass and the resin and then the paint. There's another one of Bruce, far out, huh? I didn't even know it.
Share with us some of the stories behind the paintings featured in Ferguson McCarthy's Barbarian Days exhibition, specifically starring Into the Abyss, which is currently hanging in the show right now.
They're surf paintings that I did with ink on fiber paper, which is, I like taking photos, and I've always taken photos, and I always have my camera with me, but they're great surf photos, and so I painted them. Oh, how I name them. Well, I get the inspiration of what I'm looking at. you know, like the abyss. I mean, that was just a heavy, heavy wave just dropping out and falling free. The law of gravity.
It was a nice run.